You're a PhD aerospace engineering, first
Yeah.
generation Latino,
Mhm. Yeah.
LGBT. Tell me, what would be your tagline, if anything? What I mean, this mashup of deep, tell me your origin story. How did you know
Yeah.
what you're doing today?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I was thinking through the tagline and I was like, well, I think maybe one could be, life through punches, but I turned them into power and purpose. And so I think, everyone I'm sure has their own set of struggles, right? Everyone is dealt a different set of cards, right, in life. And it's really what you make of that, right? That really defines you. Um, so for me, right, I grew up here in Southern California. So I grew up in Rancho Cucamonga, about an hour east of LA without
Okay.
traffic.
Mhm.
Um, and uh, and so yeah, I grew up. My background is Mexican, so my parents are from Mexico. They met here, and I'm the oldest of of three. So I have two younger siblings. One is a year younger, and then the youngest 7 years younger, but he has uh, Down syndrome pretty severely. So I grew up in a disadvantaged background in a community where really I didn't know anyone that went to a four-year college, no one that went into any STEM field, right? And
Oh,
so, and my parents also, right, had never gone to college. So a lot of it was just learning and figuring things out along the way. But I was lucky to have teachers, right, that believed in me, that saw sort of, something in me in school, and they would say, "Oh yeah, you need to go to college," or, they would say, "Oh, you're good at math and science," things like that. And so they would reaffirm those things. Um, but even once I got to high school, right, I really hadn't really planned for the future. I didn't really had thought about what major I wanted to go into, or what college I wanted to go. And so it was around being around other students that had thought about that a little bit better, or had parents who were engineers or doctors, that when they started asking me about it, I was like, oh, I don't know, but let me start thinking about it a little bit more. Um, and so yeah, so in my classroom, one of my teachers said, "Oh, the UC applications opened up," and so that's how I found out, that I should apply to college. There were several interests that I had, right? Music, English literature, and then STEM, right? And so I decided to go and try engineering,
okay.
and initially started with civil engineering, transitioned into mechanical, and then added aerospace, just as, being in college and taking different courses and being involved in different projects and clubs. That's sort of how my interests kind of evolved. Um, but even then, right, I didn't know about what a PhD was, right?
Right.
Or venture capital, or the field that I'm in now. So a lot of it has been a bit of a learning process.
Mhm.
And I'm lucky to have had different organizations along the way geared towards, underserved communities in STEM, or,
Yeah.
PhD or things like that, that help um, create awareness for me about the different opportunities. My thing is, you can't really go after something that you don't even know exists, right? So the more you're aware about different opportunities, the more you can sort of start to pave your path based on your own interests.